Hi everybody, it's Carol Clark
And Alice Edgerton.
here with Fulfilled After 50, your podcast for filling you up anytime that you want or need it.
Yes, so today we are talking about just how do you thrive through the holidays. And really thriving to me means like during the holidays we experience a lot of emotions. Like I don't know what it is about the holidays, but if we have had some sadness or some grief, we feel lonely, you are separated from your family, or you've just had just some trauma during the year, it seems to be the holidays escalate that emotion. So for me today, I am just going to be encouraging you on what do you do with those emotions, because they also can set up some triggers for you. So you're around family, sometimes that's going to set a trigger for you, or you're doing a lot of shopping and there's a lot of like hustle and bustle out there. Okay, I was in the Black Friday shopping and I can tell you, like if you're on a emotional like ledge, that can really topple you over.
Right, that's why I had to avoid it. Couldn't do it.
Some people get really rude at this period of time. I don't know. I try to be the opposite. Okay, so it's supposed to be really like a lighthearted, like time of year, right? You're joyous. You're thankful. It's like Jesus's birthday, and like, what are we reflecting on, really? Okay, and then we go back to the cooking.
Right.
Everybody is like, and about the story with your mom.
I know. I would say that I have a story. My mom is a big baker, and at the holidays, people look forward to her cookies. And for as long as I can remember, forever, she makes like 12 different kinds of Christmas cookies, which to me is really overwhelming. And there was a period in time where I really think she enjoyed that. So she would make all these cookies, and she'd announce to me, I made 592 cookies today or over the past week. And eventually it turned from I had joy in making these cookies to I have to make those 12 different kinds of cookies. I need to. So I was finally well, do you want to do it? Do you like doing it? If you don't like doing it, then why are you doing it? I think we all run into this sort of a habit, especially if you have some tendencies like, if you're a people pleaser.
Right.
You may feel like you have to do that because everyone that is looking forward to receiving your cookies. But really, once you kind of cut that out and ask yourself, what am I saying? Am I saying I need to or I have to? Or am I saying that I get to and I want to? And then that will help you discern what you want to continue doing and what you really need to consider letting go of.
Exactly.
Letting go of it.
Yes. It's like, so again, just going back to the shopping, it's sometimes when we are out in the stores and we see all these cute decorations, we're like, oh, I could use that, but it's like, really? Do you really need that?
Right.
And then what do you do with it after the holidays? That's just something else that's going to clutter your attic, and it's just excessive spending.
Right.
So one of the ways I think to hone in on the holidays is to be careful with your spending.
Yes.
And so when my kids were here for the holidays, Gabrielle was like a week before Thanksgiving, and then Joshua was here Thanksgiving. And then I have two other children, so we were all together. They're all adults. They all have their own jobs. So it was to the point that, okay, you have your own earnings now, so you can basically go out and get what you want. So we're limiting it to 2 things this year. And they're not frivolous things like Joshua, he said he wanted like those wireless ear pods. He's in corporate America. He needs those for conference calls. He goes to work out all the time. So that's like a practical gift. And then his other one was, I consider it not really a practical gift. He wanted a new golf club. Okay, so I'm thinking that's not real practical, but that was his 2 things. And then Gabrielle's in Philly. She needs boots and she needs clothes. They're really practical things. So that's what we are limiting our Christmas to, is what is going to be the most practical instead of just frivolous shopping.
Right.
They're not going to use it. It's going to sit on a shelf, and then you've got this credit card bill that comes in next month, right?
Right. True confession, and I know I learned this growing up, but true confession, I for years, and I still do this, I have a set budget, but I force myself, I have 4 kids, and I force myself to spend, I equal it all out so they all have the same dollar amount, and then I make sure obsessively that they have the same number of packages to open.
Yes.
Which is it's stressful.
Yes.
Truth be told, it's
Yes.
so stressful. And I think
Yeah.
the only person who really cares about it is me, because when they're little, sure enough, they wouldn't have known the difference, but I still had to have it all even up.
Yes.
But nowadays, they all want different things. One wants something that's a higher price point than the other. And so I finally, and it's really hard for me, I have to say.
It
It's
is.
so hard for me, but I have to stop,
Yes.
and I need to realize that that's not what it's about. It's not
Right.
about just being, we want to be fair, but it's
Yes.
not, do they really care at their age that they have, they're 17 through 22, that they have the same number of presents to open?
They do. I can tell you they do. Because when Joshua was home, Gabrielle wanted this specific pair of boots, okay? They're the Fry boots. Literally, she's been
Whoa.
asking for 4 years for these Fry boots, okay? So, but now this year, since it's limited to 2, this gift came in when Joshua was home. She was not home. He opened that box, and this was his immediate reaction. They smell like more than all my gifts combined. So, yes, I can tell you they still, because I did the same thing too, and I still do. I really
know.
want to make sure they have the exact same amount of presents. But they're old enough so I can, tell Gabrielle, I can justify, because they are in their mid-20s,
Yeah.
these are your 2 gifts, but monetarily that he's going to have more because you're 2 gifts. So it's like they can wrap their heads around that. But
Right.
when they were little, they couldn't. So, yeah,
Yes.
I was that mom too. It's like, sure, you want them to be even, and you don't want one to say, well, I was her favorite.
Right, because I know in our family I'm known as the favorite. I'm the golden child. So, but it does happen. So I guess what Alice and I are trying to talk about a little bit is what can you do over the holidays to thrive and not just survive or barely hang on by your
Exactly.
fingernails or your toenails. Just so what can you do? Like we mentioned, really look at, are you doing things that you really want to do, that you desire to do, or are you doing things because you feel like you have to do them? And you will end up surprising yourself if those things that you don't really enjoy, you let go.
Exactly.
Is one thing. The other thing is not to compare yourself to others. So Alice has her own traditions. I have
Yeah.
my own traditions, and it's okay that they're different. We don't have to be the
Exactly.
same. And I don't have to be the first person on my block to put my Christmas decorations up.
Right.
I don't have to have the most Christmas decorations. I need to do the decorations that are right for me,
Right.
and that bring me joy. So
Exactly.
when I was decorating, I have a traditional tree. And I use, it's a lot of handmade ornaments. It's things that we've collected from vacations. It's sentimental. It's a sentimental
Aw,
tree. So
yeah.
for me, I remember everything as I put it back on. I put my music on. That's enjoyable for me.
Yes.
And when I stop
Yeah.
enjoying that, I'll probably rethink that. And
Yes.
I put up decorations outside, but I don't go crazy where I feel like I have to, or I need to, or I'm trying to compete with somebody else. So
Right.
don't compare yourself to others, which is easier said than done, I know, but you will do yourself a huge favor if you do that.
Yes.
The other thing we talked about was not overspending. Have your budget and understand what your budget is. Do what you don't buy in order to make yourself feel better or to have yourself belong with other people. Buy what is right for you and consider giving things that are more your time.
Yes.
Things that you've put loving care into in terms of making it. If you're not crafty, just think through what it is that you're giving, and don't feel so compelled to make sure that it has a certain dollar amount to it. And if you do have a dollar amount that you feel compelled to spend, then next year think about it proactively. Start
Right.
saving each of the 12 months, a little bit each month, so it's going to add up at the end of the year. You're not adding this added stress of a huge credit card bill.
Right, yes. So 2 things I will just hit on for you is when you are feeling really a sense of sadness and loneliness, and I tell you because we are hitting it on ourselves this Christmas because my husband lost his baby sister this year. And so when we feel some grief and sorrow when those holidays hit and those special loved ones are not going to be around, how do we deal with that emotion? For one, like we will look for somebody else maybe that is going through some illness, some cancer. Look for somebody that you maybe can impact their life. When you can do something for somebody else and impact somebody else's life, it changes your life. So we will look for somebody that we can help this season just for her remembrance because she did so much for the cancer community. So when we are doing something for somebody else, it also brings her memory about and it gives us special happy memories. Another thing is when you are feeling a sense of overwhelm. And that's what we all deal with. You know, Carol and I will touch on a lot of podcasts, for one, about overwhelm, comparison, self-talk, and all that. But for this particular season, when you are feeling a sense of overwhelm, is take a minute in the morning, and we talk about this so much. We focus on this on our women's retreats that we do, is taking that time in the morning to meditate. Just clearing out your head and focusing on the positive. What does that do for you when we meditate? It provides a sense of calm, a sense of calmness over you. So you are proactive during the day and not reactive.
Right, and at this time of year, you may think, who's got time for that? Now is the time when you think you don't have time, that's the time you need it the most. And that's the time you need to take advantage of that because it can help change your entire outlook and your entire coping mechanism for every hour, every day, every week of this holiday season so that you can focus on what's most important.
Exactly. And that's always about family, guys. Everything else is a bonus that comes with it, but it's about your family and it's about being present and not your presence that you give.
And what about if you are lonely because you don't have a lot of family? Perhaps you're isolated. I know we don't have any family that lives here in the area, or you may have, just not have a lot of friends that you spend a lot of time with over the holidays.
Yes.
So what do you do in that case? It creates grief.
Yes.
It creates sadness for many people, and at that time, I guess my message there is that it's never too late to make a friend.
Exactly.
And you can find them in the most various places. It's just having yourself open to being a friend to someone. It could be at church. It could be someone you meet out somewhere. It could be any women's group. It could be through our Fulfilled After 50 group. It could be someone you met at one of our retreats.
Yes.
And I think that's what it is. It's building a community of people who want to be able to connect with other women who are in similar situations.
Yes.
So take advantage of that.
And that's right. And connect to our group, our Fulfilled After 50, 50. So you can subscribe to this podcast. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, or you can come to our free Facebook group.